This is a Bionicle, and this is a Mixel. I'd call that a job well done. Hello everybody, Tyrannical545 here, and today we're going to be building a Mixel-inspired Bionicle Moc. I'm going to be taking a lot of inspiration from the first official Infernite's Tribe Max for this build, so I'm trying to kind of replicate the cartoony square jaw it's got going on. Using some snot construction for the sides of the lower jaw. It's a shame I don't have these pieces in red, but it is what it is. And for all the bits that need to be mirrored in this build, we're actually going to be utilizing magic. There we go, now we got two of them. Just got to build up some structure to attach all three of these pieces together. And we can attach the front teeth to lock it all in place. And with that, we'll move on to the upper jaw. We're going to be utilizing a lot of jumper tiles in this part of the build to get the shaping exactly where I want it to be. You'll see how that all comes together in a bit. Also going to be utilizing a jumper connection to get this plate in the exact middle of the head. And then we got this slope to act as kind of a downward pointing nose. More jumpers on the top to line up with the connections of the bottom ones. And then we'll just add a variety of additional pieces to provide some connection points we'll use in a sec. This top red bit with the bracket and the clips definitely looks a little bizarre right now, but I can assure you it's all going to get covered up. Finally going to be sloping everything off to form the proper shaping of the head. Got to angle these clips for later, you'll see how that comes into play. This is looking pretty good, but definitely a tad lifeless, so let's add in some eyes. Gonna be utilizing a technique from an official Mixel set that I really like, where we use these handlebar pieces as eyebrows. It's looking pretty good, but I wanted to have kind of like a fiery set of hair. Luckily, I've got just the idea on how we'll achieve that. You're going to want to pour your nail polish remover in accordance with the type of hairstyle you're going for. I'm going for kind of a reggae man look, so I'm going to be very liberal with the amount I dump on. Also, make sure you do this step inside so you can really appreciate the smell of burning plastic entering your lungs. After following those steps exactly, your head should look something like this. So far, we're definitely checking all boxes for the Mixel side of this build, but not quite the Bionicle one, so we're going to utilize a lot more construction pieces for the torso. While, of course, still using a bunch of system to fill in all the tiny gaps. Pretty sure what I'm doing here with these two 5-sided bricks and this modified Technic plate is an illegal building technique, so, don't tell anyone. Gonna be utilizing the friction pin to stud connector for the first time in this build. Easily my favorite piece to more recently come out of the company. And some various slope pieces will complete filling out the bottom of the torso. Those 5-sided bricks were definitely the MVPs of this part of the build, just allowed for a lot of really helpful connection points. Gonna start building the torso up with some Technic pieces. We're going to be using this modified plate to lock that modified lift arm in place in a way that'll still allow for a shell to be attached to it later. Going to be building up the structure for the top of the torso now. You've already seen the process, so I fired these two pieces off screen for y'all's convenience. Don't try that at home, by the way. And we'll add another round modified plate for an additional connection point later. Time to cap the torso off with 2 of these CCBS body armor pieces. And we'll attach this regular red one to the back, utilizing both a ball connection and a lightsaber one to prevent it from moving around too much. We'll add an extra little detail piece to slide into that modified plate. And we'll cap the torso off with these 2 small shell pieces to fill out the shoulders, which we'll put on before the neck attachment, totally on purpose and not because I forgot to add that ball earlier. With the torso done, we'll move on to the arms. These are going to be pretty simple, just a pretty standard CCBS construction. CCBS pieces already match system ones in aesthetics pretty closely, and they happen to make a lot of bone pieces in red, which was a nice bonus. Going to be going back to system for the hands, utilizing an actual Mixel socket piece. I wanted to emulate the kind of cartoony sausage fingers the characters have in the show, and I think it wound up looking pretty perfect minus a few of the colors. Moving on to the legs, we're going to be utilizing more CCBS and another one of those awesome pin connectors. We're going to be using a lot of clip connections here to kind of extend the shaping of the CCBS shell out with some slope pieces. For the feet, we're going to utilize these awesome knockoff trans orange beast feet I've had sitting in a bin for a while. Some of y'all may complain that that's not purist, and don't worry, I do hear your complaints. But anyway, moving on to the toes, we're going to be building up some blocky, cartoonish looking ones of a pretty simple design. Once those are on, we'll use magic one final time to duplicate the leg, attach everything together, and with that, we'll cap things off. Really happy with how this guy turned out. I hope you all enjoyed the build process. If you've been keeping up with the channel lately, and I'm sure you could tell, I've been wanting to kind of experiment with some new video styles. So if you liked this one or thought there were any areas I could improve in, then please let me know in the comments. I always appreciate y'all's feedback. I had the idea to build some more Bionicle Mocs in the style of other LEGO themes. Right now I've got ideas for Power Miners and Ice Planet ones. So if this video goes over well, then I'll definitely consider doing builds on those ones too. Share any thoughts you've got in the comments below. Subscribe for more LEGO and Bionicle content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a wonderful rest of your day. Could always do a video where I try that fire method on this guy.